thing. So, first off, it is June 17th, and the time is 5:06 p.m. We've got some folks out there that are in some very low vibrational energy right now. If you're an empath, like I am, if you're very, very sensitive, you've been picking up on this. And it's very nasty. Because not only is there a stream of thought that's being pumped in, you know, this, it's not even subliminal, it's just like an actual stream of thought that's very, very negative, and it's based on whatever it is that you are triggered by, like disloyalty, like lying, like infidelity, you know? Like being used as a tool or a commodity, you know? And then being left. So I'm triggered by that. Maybe you've got some triggers that are similar to that. So today, those were my triggers. And it was like this thought forms were just, and then so I got a heart cramping, so they were attacking my heart chakra, flowing through this mental rhetoric that they knew that would kind of line up with my own belief systems. So they were flowing through this negative rhetoric that kind of lined up with my, and then I was getting the heart space cramping, and then the solar plexus too felt just sick, like I was getting a bunch of energy into the solar plexus. Now this went on all day long. Mind you, I know me, and I'm a happy person. Things don't really affect me in a bad way, and I definitely don't sit around thinking about, you know, 15 years ago or 20 years ago or 25 years ago, or any of the relationships that I had that were unfaithful, disloyal, and disrespectful, you know? I don't sit around and think about that stuff. But today, that was the topic flowing through my mind. And my heart cramped, and my heart cramped. And I was agitated in a big way. So there's a reason for this for me, and I'm certain that there's probably many of you that are also experiencing these kinds of things. You know that you're normally sitting around happy-go-lucky, you've let go of your triggers, you've reformatted your mind, you know what your energy feels like and what is yours and what isn't, and you can ground yourself or stabilize or do all this stuff. And when you've done all those things and nothing stabilizes and it keeps going, then you know, because you know you, that it is a manipulation. Okay, so in the central energy, we have a Knight of Pentacles here, right? And they're working very hard to gain your charity. They want your generosity. They want your generosity. They did not appreciate you at all. You were unappreciated. And so you brought an end to it, a death to it. You don't want to have anything to do with Mr. Routinely, getting all up in your business, trying to get your charity. So there's a fella here wanting your charity. He wants you to give to them generously. They did not appreciate the beauty of you, and so you ended it, or there is a death to this. We've got stubbornness. Now see this line here is like, there's a whole bunch of stuff they're trying to pump through your mind. They're having negative thought patterns, bad negative thought patterns and energies. They didn't appreciate you. You cut them off. They're no longer receiving your charity. They're challenged because you are in, whether it be a spiritual connection, an energetic connection, or some kind of connection, whether it be in the physical or otherwise, take it as it resonates. But you are in a two of the strength of two together lovers union here. A power couple union. It's a divine love and union, 10 of Cups union. These ones are very upset about it. They want to separate you. They're overwhelmed, and stressed out because they failed. And you triumphed. You have a victory over this. You know what they're doing. You know who you are. You know your typical thought patterns. You know your consistent energy levels. You know that you don't just all of a sudden out of the blue start bashing, your love that you feel in your heart. No. You know the truth that somebody is bringing you conflict. They're in there manipulating in the way that they do with their shadowy little businesses. And they're trying to offload this craziness into your mind, into your heart space, and into your solar plexus. They want you not to trust this commitment. They're trying to make it so you don't trust it, that you will see it as what all your other experiences have been. On the way home, that song again, they don't love you like I love you. So that came to mind. So this is the experience. So they wanted you not to trust this commitment. The strength of two together, you are very, very powerful together. And you're not going to compromise with these third wheel enemies. It's like, look, I know what you're doing, and there's no compromise here. You're just a bunch of jackwagons. What they want to do is they want to split you up. They want this person that you're connected to, if you're a feminine, they want this masculine to say, oh, you're right. This stream of thought that's going through their mind is so terrible. It's just not worth it. I don't want to live with this thought pattern. I don't want to live with this energy. I'm just going to let this person go and not deal with it. And they will have won. And you will be vulnerable. And the devil will come and snatch you up if they can. But you triumph over it. It's like there's no compromise. You don't trust this. You know the truth of this. And you don't trust them. You don't trust it. You know that it's a conflict. You know that it's purposeful conflict being brought against your commitment. Your 10 of Cups commitment. Whether you have met in the physical yet or not, you are committed here. So you don't trust the rhetoric. You're not going to compromise with this. What's happening here is these ones their new beginning is in a 5 of Pentacles. They're so upset. They're furious. They're getting crazy in the head. They have nothing to be grateful for. They're stuck in the shadows. They're in South Node energy. They don't have any energy. They're not connected to your light. They're reaching for your light. And we've got live and learn. So you've developed some experience here. You've learned about what's going on there. You know what they're up to. You're very aware. And they thought that playing this game with you was going to get them a reward. They're thinking about your Ace of Pentacles here, your abundance. And they're thinking about Prince Charming coming forward and offering you love, making a proposal. These people did not grow, and they're experiencing loss because you have come into reunion. Or, but what it's giving me is that this person who did not grow and is experiencing loss, like they want to play Knight of Shining or Prince Charming. They want to come in as Prince Charming and then act as though they're this person. They did not grow. They want to stop the growth. They're experiencing loss. They want to put damage on this reunion. They want to cast the illusion that it's not trustworthy. It could be that they know that it's coming in, that they did not grow consciously and awarely. They're experiencing a loss because of your reunion. The strength of two together, you're a power couple. Very, very strong. You're bringing about endings for these shadow beings that love to mess with the mind, to mess with the chakras, to dump foul energy into a star being. So they're working very, very hard here, very, very diligently in the shadows. They're full of fear and anxiety over you two. They want you in South Node mental. They want to flip your mind. They want you to believe that this person is going to neglect you just like all the others. Why? Because they want your adventure. They want your adventure. If you reject each other, that means you're available. They're upset because they got disconnected from your light. They're no longer connected to your light. You are in this connection. So they feel that if they can run enough crazy bullshit, rejection, you foul little whatever, rhetoric through your mind, that whoever you're energetically and telepathically connected to will give up and say it's too tough. I can't do this. These ones are having scarcity right now. They need something, and they need to be forgiven. You detached from them, and they need your mercy. They need your kindness. So they're running negative thought forms through whoever you're connected here, hoping that you will take it at face value as coming from the one you're connected to. They're hoping you will see them as combative or non-loving, non-trustworthy. We've got the Queen of Swords here, who knows the truth about this toxicity and this devil. Clear-minded, knows very well what's happening here, very in tune with herself, very in tune with her energy, very in tune with the chakra system and how her energy flows and what it feels like, very in tune with her mind. She is probably, being clear-minded, reformatted her thought processes already long ago and has been in practice, generating things to be thankful for in her life. So the devil, this third party, doesn't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They need you to reject your telepathic spouse or whatever. They need you to reject them for whatever rhetoric they're running through their mind. They need you to say, oh, that's too tough, so that they can come in and smile and look pretty and smell pretty and say, oh, I see you got some real estate. Let's go start a business. Or maybe they just don't know what to do because you are together and you are working together on a mega project. You're bringing about change. You're bringing endings to this stuff that they're doing. And so they need to tear you apart from each other. They need you to say that commitment. They need you to say, I don't trust that commitment. And they want you to get back in with this third party stuff. They want you to go, be lustful. But there's no compromise. This third party wants your real estate. Or it could be that they don't know what to do about real estate. Maybe they're lost their home or something. You've got the Six of Wands here. So there you are victorious over this. You persevere through this challenge and you maintain control because you know that there's no greater goal than to love. This is your life. And it's probably the fact that you know there's no greater goal than to love, which pulled you through the darkness anyway and got you to this point. This third party devil, they're feeling pain from the damage that they have caused, the illusions. It could be that whatever they have been sending out today or whenever they sent it out is coming back on them and they're suffering. It could be that they're feeling pain from it. I mean, there's literal heart cramping going on. So I don't know. It's like, and then the brain actually hurt, cramping. This technology or whatever it is they use, it's very vicious. And if you don't know yourself, and if you say, well, yeah, that is my trigger, I do believe that, I despise disloyalty and lies and all of that, I mean, you may flow with it for a while. I mean, I ran with it for 3 hours this morning before I recognized it. And even after that, it was difficult to try to manage, because it was like a Wi-Fi, signal that they were pumping through my transmitter receiver, my mental body. And this happened to me once before when I was out splitting wood with my father in the forest. When I go out to the forest, if I'm feeling bad, I go walking in the forest, and in 30 minutes I'm feeling fantastic because the trees bring it off of me. I was out there all day, and this stream of thought would not stop, and the heart and all this. So just like today, it's like an infiltration. They're sending some kind of Wi-Fi messaging through the organic transmitter receiver. And then they're cramping the chakras, the heart chakra. They want to break down the love center, which is the heart, and they want you to feel bad. And they don't want you to trust this commitment. They want you to reject it. They want you to reject each other. They want you to say, you know what, this isn't worth it. It's too hard. You know the truth of the conflict, and you know what their gig is. You've experienced it many, many times. And you're not going to compromise. In the outgoing energy, we have strength. It's a subtle strength. It's not anything that you announce. It's called persevering through extreme challenge. And you've already done that with everything that has happened in your life. You've already persevered through extreme challenges and neglect, negative thought forms. Over a decade ago, I had to reformat my mind, because all these negative thought forms kept going through. And I'm like, no, you don't get to live in my head, bad thought. I'm not going to do any negative self-talk. And so, this is an attack. So you're very strong. You got a subtle power. It's not anything that you're flexing on anybody, but you're very persistent. This is a completion of this cycle. They know it, and they're under judgment here. You're calling judgment on this. These people have been, they haven't been reciprocating nothing in the world. And they've been messing with everybody's minds. They've been driving people's minds, society. They've been driving them into toilet paper fights and everything else, man. Domestic violence, shattered homes. You're not alone here. You're not lonely, and you're not alone. So this experience, or whatever it is that you're going through, whoever it is that you're telepathically connected to and energetically sharing space with, they know too. The thing is that, once you recognize that it's not you, but it's a third-party hoe bag with special technology that they use to drive the minds and the lives of people into chaos, then really it's just a choice. Is it worth fighting for? On your own, you probably discovered, hey, you know what? Life is worth fighting for. My life is worth saving too. My life has value too. So you stuck with it, and you did the things necessary to bring yourself into homeostasis, to reformat and to strip out the negative self-talk, to stop, to heal your wounds, lick your wounds, heal your traumas and your triggers, or at least to address them when they arise. But this kind of stuff, if you have a trigger to arise, you look at that and you say a little something and then let it go, right? Well, when this consistent stuff, this all day stuff, this is a manipulation. This is frequency going through the mind. They don't want you to appreciate the beauty in each other. They want to bring a death to this union, and they're doing it with this frequency, this Wi-Fi frequency. They lost. They lost. There could be a death here for them. They've lost your charity. They've lost any kind of empathy that you had for them. You don't feel kind for them anymore. We've got the Lovers here, a deep love, the strength of two together. It's very challenging for these interferers. You've got a Ten of Cups union. It could be very challenging for you too, even though you may not have physically met. This telepathic connection is very challenging, and you know, because both of you have been under heavy duty attack mentally, energetically, and otherwise on your own. And now that you're together, it's compounded, right? It's greater than it was before, even though one of you or whatever may be better at shielding and stuff. So they're challenged because you got the strength of two together. You're a sincere, divine, loving power couple. And these ones are overwhelmed by failure. Look, they're overwhelmed by stress. They got an overwhelming failure. Your divine love is bringing them an overwhelming failure. You triumph. This nastiness has got to stop. It's got to stop, man. They were wanting to use love as an escape route. They wanted to split up your love so that they could then tap into your light and your gifts and use it as an escape. But you triumph. You triumph and you escaped. You escaped. They were disconnected from your light. They can't harvest you anymore. So they're bringing conflict to your mind, to your chakra system, to your nervous system. They could be hitting you with some frequency interferences, electrical frequency interferences. So you know the truth about this conflict. They want to make it so that you don't trust this commitment. They want to make it so that you give up on each other. You're too strong together. They need you separated. There's no compromise with this third-party enemy. There's no reconciliation. You're emotionally exhausted from dealing with everything right now, and you deserve a break. And it could be that they are tired because they've been disconnected from your light. You deserve a break from this vampiric entity that is just throwing in streams of thought. This is technology. It's AI technology, Wi-Fi technology, this wireless crap. And if you're surrounded by computers and this kind of a network all day long like I am, it was pretty potent. Excuse me. So they're in a Five of Pentacles energy. They're like feeling fear, man, because this is their new beginning. It's like they don't have any money. They're in the shadows. They don't have any light. They don't have, your energy equals life equals money. They don't have anything to be thankful for. They're in the shadows, and we've got live and learn. And you could have lived and learned, or they're living and learning. Maybe they have lived and learned that this format that they have wrapped and built their lives around isn't necessarily a winner's format. Yeah, it's ending. Live and learn, and this is over. It's ending. We've got death in the central energy and lost. They lost. There's death, and you've got ending. They saw your abundance here, and look, we've got Prince Charming coming in. Prince Charming, this Knight of Cups, did not grow, and they're experiencing a loss of this reunion. Like they're not getting to be part of this reunion. Or maybe they're experiencing loss because of your reunion here. They're desperately messing with you too. And they make it very personal. They make it very, very personal. And it could just be that you won't have the patience for it, that you'll give it up. Empty cup. So these ones did not grow. This Knight of Cups They're looking at your abundance, at your prosperity. They want to come in as Prince Charming. They did not grow. They're experiencing loss. They're an empty vessel. Your reunion is causing them empty vessel. They did not grow. They're experiencing loss because you can see with the Queen of Swords here that they're just a devil, third party hoe bag, and they didn't grow at all. You know, they just want a free house, a free car, a free this, a free that. So they're working really hard right now to flip you into South Node mental. And they're doing it from the shadows. They're in fear and anxiety. They're trying to project out their own, this is big energy, and it's ugly. They want you to be neglected. They don't want you to get what you wanted. We got an adventure here. Ruins. They want to bring ruin to your adventure, or things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. Like these ones wanted things to fall away from you. You're coming into an adventure. They neglected you, and they're brutal, man. They're brutal. They use this technology to drive people's minds into South Node thinking. They use this technology to give, to cramp the heart, man. Was it really a heart attack? Or was it really an aneurysm or a stroke? I don't know, man. It's time to question everything now. They're disconnected from your light, from this star, from your revitalization. You're not processing their shadow for them anymore. They're losing it. They're flipping out. They're in scarcity. They want forgiveness, but you're detached. They want forgiveness, but you're detached. You had to let this go so you could clear your mind, and it looks like the divine is giving you mercy, detaching you from this, disconnecting you from this. The Queen of Swords is here, clear-minded, knows exactly what this devil is doing. This third-party enemy is in indecision. They don't know what to do. You've got some real estate. You've got wealth coming up. They want it, and they're tangled up in a web. Or maybe, I don't know, they're unable to free themselves from a sticky situation. We've got real estate, third-party real estate. It could be that that this third party is the real estate of this web. Like they're owned. They own them. That's what that is. This third party is the real estate, is part of the wealth of this web. And they wanted to get you caught up in it. They desperately want to get you caught up in it. They want to get you in South Node mental. They want to drop your love vibe by attacking your heart chakra. And they want you to turn away from each other angrily. They want you to think that the thought patterns that are going through your mind all day long, that are of rejection, that are of blame, that are of, oh my, what is this? Why is this my curse? And all this kind of stuff. They want you to turn away from each other. They don't want you to recognize that it is an illusion of fantasy. You've got a victory over this with the Six of Wands energy here. You're in a Seven of Wands also. You are persevering and maintaining control through this challenge because you know that there's no greater goal than to love. And you're consistent. This is the thing about whoever you're connected to. They're very, they're all about consistency. They're all about like the consistent pattern. Right? So that when there is an interference or something that's so off the wall like this, that reaches in and tries to apply, decades of disappointment to a new connection, it's got to be a manipulation. They're really hoping that you just won't want to fight for it. That you'll reject it because they'll make it so uncomfortable and so undesirable and so bad that you won't want to be present with it. These ones are guilty of causing a daydream, of messing with the mind, with their illusions and their fantasies. You know it. You're victorious over it. Look, we got leaving. You're leaving them behind, or you're leaving them. They're disconnected from you and you're leaving them. They're reaching out, trying to connect, but love eludes them. They're guilty of messing with your mind, reaching out, trying to connect. They need you in South Node. They need you to reject, bring a death to this connection. They need you to reject it, to get rid of it, to stop it. Oh my gosh, they need you back. You got strength here, a subtle power. This is a completion. The world has turned. You're calling judgment on this situation. These ones, you're not reciprocating. It could be that you're not reciprocating, or that these ones did not reciprocate in a good way. Or maybe you just did not take it. You didn't reciprocate back. Maybe you took it all in and then you transmuted it. Or maybe you're going to, I don't know. These ones, you're calling judgment. They are not reciprocal. They do not give an equal give and take. They take. They give you 10 wands in exchange for 10 cups. You're not alone in this. You're not alone in this calling judgment here. So these ones do not give equally. And so we've got imagination in the reverse too. It could be that this stuff here, this fear and anxiety that they're trying to put into the mental body to drive you to a part is going to be getting back to them. It may not be equal give and take. They may get a bunch more back just because it's not nice. Oh yeah, fierce. They're going to get mind effed bad. This was a bad idea. Blind spot. Blind spot. They're at a distance. They're having a blind spot. They can't see anymore. They're not connected like they were. They're trying to pump in and interfere with your experience, but they don't really see the details of what's going on. They're just hoping. This weed seed that wasn't ready to settle down or be responsible is going under. They're drowning here. They're hurting emotionally. It could be they're getting burned. There's something about getting burned, and you're leaving. You're out of here. You're forgiving it, or maybe they want forgiveness. Forgiveness to me is like letting it go. It's like I'm going to forgive it by letting it go. That in no way, shape, or form releases anybody from a responsibility for bad behavior. They got to go deal with that. They have a long way to go before they find what they're looking for. They got a long journey ahead of them. They broke a lot of promises. They did not keep any promises, and they're having anxiety. They know what they did. They got to go deal with broken promises, and they got to go deal with being alone. They got to go deal with being neglected and having their mind effed by unseen people getting a kick out of destroying their life. Playing games with love, bringing crazy rabbit hole drama to the flames of this world, man. Guilty as charged. So it's different, you know, when you're by yourself and you're trying to come up into some sort of restructured awareness. and you manage it really well, and you graduate through that process, but then two become one, and all of a sudden it intensifies, and the dynamic changes, and so you have to learn all over again, like, how are you going to fight this fight, you know, because it's not the same anymore. There's more energy, bigger connection. There is bigger awareness, and there's a whole another one who had to walk the walk just like you did. And whether you know them in the physical, and I think that this might be a thing, you know, where people don't actually meet right away because they need to find out whether they can stand each other at all, or be capable of, maybe the divine, maybe the Most High God does it this way so that you can discover whether or not you're even able to manage yourself in each other's energy and space, right? Or if it's just too hard and you just don't want to do it, what's the point of meeting physically if you can't figure it out, right? Yeah, look at that. We got the Emperor in the reverse. Tyranny, immaturity, tyrant. A tyrant lost. A tyrant lost because you're too stubborn. You're like, I see what you're doing there. I know myself well enough to know when there's interference. I mean, you know, sometimes it feels good. You know, when you're triggered and about a memory or something, sometimes it feels good to kind of lash into it, right? And then to let it go again. It's kind of like when you revisit a wound, you know, you spray it with the water and it's like, ah, and then you leave it alone for a while. Let it heal. Till you bump it on something and it does something. So anyway, we've got this tyrant here who's challenged by the strength of two together in their 10 of Cups, divine love union. It's total love and support. They're overwhelmed by a failure. You are victorious here. You've escaped. Whatever it is, they can't keep you. You have escaped. They have been disconnected. Left behind. They are the real estate of this devil. Tangled up in the web. They can't get loose. Your love has allowed you to escape this attempt by this tyrant. Whatever this sneaky little magic is, it allowed you, your love, look, it says love is an emotional escape. Be sure you're getting involved for all the right reasons. Love is an escape, an emotional escape. We've got a Knight of Cups here. There could be a romantic proposal, or maybe you have triumphed and you have escaped a Knight of Cups coming in with a romantic proposal. Take it as it resonates. It could be that you're having a knight come in. Maybe your reunion here is gonna come in. You've triumphed over this. Look, we got 10 of Cups again. 10 of Cups, King of Cups. Oh. So, all right. So this tyrant has been flooding the transmitter receivers, the organic transmitter receivers, which are Homo sapiens and other human type people, with a frequency or a one of them microwave frequencies, and you know the truth of it, that they want to make it so you don't trust your commitments. Whatever it is you are recently committed to, whatever it is that has brought you strength and stability, that has allowed you to really put a kink in this thing and bring it into it, they don't want you to trust it. You're tired, you're emotionally exhausted from dealing with this. You deserve a break, and there's no compromise with these third wheel enemies. There's just not. You're going to stick with the commitment. They want you to think it's not worth it by force feeding this rhetoric through the mental body of your telepathic union. They want you to give up on it. They don't want you to recognize that it's their serious efforts to flip the mental body and this union into South Node. The moon. It's deceptive. So there's no compromise. You're tired of dealing with this kind of crap, and you know what they're doing. There's no compromise. You know that it's an illusion. You know that it's a deception. You know that these ones are doing their very best to try to split you up and make you hate each other, because that's what they are. They're projecting out so bad right now. They're in the shadows. This is ending. They have nothing to be thankful for. This third party is tangled up in the web of this devil and cannot free themselves. They're desperately trying to end your connection so that they can make you vulnerable, split you up. The strength of you two together is way too tough. They need you to split up. They need you to fall out of love. They need you to despise each other. They don't want you to have understanding so that you can work together to manage the next attack, hopefully quicker or whatever. It's ending. We got live and learn. They found out that whatever it is that they're doing, it doesn't work the same on you. You're stubborn. Empress. Empress. Live and learn. It could be that this Empress has lived and learned. They have nothing to be grateful for. It is ending. This Empress has lived and learned. It could be that this was a test. This was all a test. It could be that this Empress was here in the Earth School to be challenged by these darker entities and to see what she would do with it, right? What are you going to do with this challenge? Are you going to run into it? Are you going to blame this new connection to be what it is or what it was? You're going to throw away your wings and say, I got to go crawl around in the soil to ground myself? Or are you going to fly? Are you going to see this for what it is, and say, you know what? I'm an Empress now. I've learned. I've got my graduation diploma right here. I've learned, and I'm out of here. So you got the Ace of Pentacles there. You got prosperity. You got abundance coming in. And you've got this Knight of Cups here, though, who's a Prince Charming. Somebody here in the shadow, it looks like once their intention is to come forward and try to play Prince Charming. They did not grow in consciousness or awareness. They're suffering loss. Their cup is empty. And it could be empty because of this reunion, or it could just be empty and they want to have a reunion with you. So they're going to try to use some kind of Prince Charming crap. Queen of Cups. They need your love. They need you to bring them balance. They want a reunion with the Queen of Cups. And their cup is empty. They want a reunion with the Queen of Cups. They did not grow. They're going to come in. Their intention is to come in. This is a shadow person. This is ending. You're an Empress here in your Queen of Cups energy, or what I take it as it resonates. They want to get reconnected to your love. It could be that you have no more empathy for these people or whoever this person is. It could be that you just have no more empathy for this process in this particular realm. You've graduated and it's like you're out of here, right? And this negative rhetoric that they put through the people's minds using this Wi-Fi crap, It hurts it actually hurts the brain. It's like, it's not quite a headache, it's like a cramp. Like when they do it to the heart chakra, it's like a cramp, and you get like a cramp in your brain. It's not a headache, it's a cramp. It actually hurts. This technology that they're using for this, very invasive. They're working real hard here. They're working real hard here to flip the mind into south node. They need you thinking negatively. They want your heart space to cramp up. They want your solar plexus full of negative energy. They want you to reject your love. They don't want you to be strong two together. They need you separated so that they can stop this death, so that they can reattach to your light and use you. They're working under the moon. They're in fear and anxiety. It could be that they're worried about being neglected, or that they have neglected you, or that they want you to be neglected. But I think they're worried about being neglected. They're in fear about being neglected because you reached the top of the mountain. It's like you've graduated. You've passed the tests. And you've understood what was happening. And so things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. You know what's going on here. It doesn't make it hurt any less, because it actually does physically. These cramping things that they do with the chakra systems, and it actually does cause pain. So somebody's in an 8 of Cups energy. They're disappointed. They're being abandoned. They've been disconnected from the star. They're in despair. They have no light left in them. There is suffering, scarcity. They've got a 4 of Pentacles here. They want forgiveness, but there's detachment and mercy being given you. It's like the divine is detaching you from this. Maybe you have forgiveness, whatever it was that you needed forgiveness for, or maybe like, I don't know, but there is forgiveness. Somebody's in scarcity. I think they're in scarcity and they want your forgiveness. Maybe you're releasing them. Maybe forgiveness for you is letting it go, releasing it, detaching. And maybe the divine is saying, you know what, we're going to release this. We're going to detach you from this. It's like you had to let things go so that you could clear your mind. You had to let it go. There's forgiveness here, but forgiveness is release. These people are so awful with the way that they've been driving the minds of society with this technology. It's terrible. Shattered homes, fights over toilet paper, crazy stuff, man. You're getting mercy. You're getting a kindness. The hand of the divine is reaching down and lifting you out. You're in the Queen of Swords energy, so you're in the Queen of Cups energy, Queen of Swords energy, and the Empress has graduated. She has learned her lessons. The truth here, you're clear-minded about this devil, this toxicity that they're doing to you. They don't know what to do. This third party is the real estate of this devil. They're tangled up and unable to free themselves. They desperately need you to reject whoever this is that you're in telepathic union with, so that they can jump in or snatch it or something. We've got the 8 of Swords. They're feeling trapped. They're feeling trapped and victimized. This is a third party. They're unable to free themselves from this devil, and you know the truth of it, so you're not feeding into it. You've got a victory over here, the 6 of Wands. So it's public recognition. It could be whatever you've been up to is publicly recognized. You persevered through this challenge and maintained control. You are a success. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. These ones are guilty of messing with your mind. They were reaching for love, trying to connect to you, or they were trying to connect, but love is eluding them. Because of the history, because of the nostalgia, because it's not like this is You know, I mean, many of you have been subjected to this interference for a long time, and you're quite aware of it. You're very strong here. You got a subtle power. It's something that's just, it's kind of like a silent, but everybody can sense it, right? This is a completion of the cycle. You're calling judgment on this. These people did not give equally. They didn't do reciprocity. They turned the minds upside down, or they tried to turn your mind into South Node, or maybe their mind is being turned into South Node, because whatever they did here is got to go back to them. You didn't feed into it. They're not able to free themselves from this tangled web. They are the real estate of this devil, and they are feeling helpless. The Queen of Swords knows the truth of it, and she's not dropping into South Node to swap places with this third-party enemy. She's got plenty of experience in the history. She knows what they're doing. They're trying to reach out, mess with her mind, drop her into South Node, and step in. You're being very fierce, or somebody's being very fierce. It could be whoever it is showing you mercy here. This fierce lion here. Yeah, they're in a Five of Pentacles. They are losing everything again. In the recent past, it was a Five of Pentacles, and now they're getting hardship. It's a big scandal. You're not alone here. They're messing with you, and you're not alone. It's like they were trying to mess with your mind, while whoever it is telepathically connected to you was in on it. You're not alone here. It's like they know what's happening to you, and they know your consistent pattern. They know your mindset. They know your energy. And today wasn't it. It's a scandal. The sun is here, making plans for, whoa, the sun is here, planning for the future, the Two of Wands, regarding death for cheating, thieving, and deceiving scammers. Did these ones really think that the collective was alone in their mind? Maybe they were trying to get you separated from the connection. They wanted this person to perhaps separate from you in the mental. They wanted them to bail on you because it was just too much to bear, this interference. The King of Wands is here, a natural leader, very loyal. He could be a King of Wands, or in his King of Wands energy. He's being very fierce and very strong here. So we've got confidence here and fearless. So there's Page of Wands energy. They're confident, fearless. This devil is in a freaking tower. The devil is in a tower. Whoever this tyrant, this immature tyrant is, that's been trying to flip the mindset and the cramping the heart space and doing all this stuff, they're in a tower. And again, we've got Three of Cups, merriment, celebration, and protection. For the Queen of Swords, look at this. We've got protection. Queen of Swords, she knows the truth again right there. And we've got temperance energy. This is balanced. Everything is in harmony. And you got the Nine of Cups, accomplishment. So you passed another test. "54 minutes. Well, I think that is pretty straightforward. You know, it just isn't very nice that they play like this, you know. I guess I could see, this third party enemy is like the real estate, like they are owned by this devil. They can't get themselves free of it. And they're feeling trapped. Because this Queen of Swords knows the truth and is clear-minded and has a victory over it. It's wild. And then you got the Lion there, and the Sun, the Lion. These ones can cause a lot of heartbreak, because it feels like heartbreak. When they cramp up the heart center, it feels like heartbreak. It feels like it does when a betrayal happens. I know it's not a heart attack because I once thought that, and I went to the doctor and they did an EKG and then they sent me in for rush dye, right? Oh my God, you're gonna have a heart attack. There was nothing wrong with my heart. It was all electrical and cramping. It was all, it was an interference from these ones. But if it happens to you, I highly recommend that you go and verify that there's no damage done to your organ or to your system. Make sure that you're okay. But for me, I have done the research, so I know that this is all part of the energetic, manipulative war. I think I'm gonna go watch a karate fight or some kung fu or something, maybe a sword fight. I hope you all have a good night. Um, I hope that this brings clarification to something that you already intuitively knew. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.